For the past 5 years, I have been working on a polar passion project, a biopic set in Antarctica. Part of the Terra Nova expedition of 1910, the film I am making is not about the race to the pole you may be familiar with, but a lesser known yet even more audacious undertaking. One that Captain Scott himself called the hardest journey ever made, and was later known as the worst journey in the world. Join me and my fellow filmmaker Graham as we fight our way through blizzards, trek high into the mountains, explore the past, and push ourselves and our cameras to the limit in pursuit of bringing this incredible true story to the screen.
Cheers.
We were about to board a flight, not to Antarctica, but to a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, I like it. That's good.
Set your course for the Hoth system.
Our destination was the remote mountain town of Finse.
That's it. The rebels are there.
The town has quite the film heritage. It's best known as Hoth from The Empire Strikes Back, but fittingly it was also the film location for Scott of the Antarctic. At an altitude of over 1,200 metres, the town is above the tree line, making it the perfect double for the southern continent. This was my 4th expedition for location scouting, camera tests and other logistical preparations. The purpose of this trip was to film the landscape, and the script necessitates terrible weather.
There she is. There's my tripod tube. Duffel bag. 2 out of 4. Well, I'm glad my coat has arrived.
Yeah, just not the cameras.
I'm okay with that.
We're through all in one place.
There are no roads to Finse, and the town can only be reached by train. I had come in search of blizzards, but the conditions threatened to stop us before we'd even arrived.
How do you feel about all this?
Well, we got a hotel in Oslo for the night. The trains are all cancelled. They had record snowfall, like 70 centimetres in a night, so we've got to clear the tracks. So we're stuck here. Worst places to be in the world. So we'll see what the city sites have to offer for us, and we'll hopefully get a train in the morning.
Don't slip. Only 1 foot, because it could go terribly. I trust you to do that.
We soon noticed, however, that jumping in the icy water wouldn't be quite as crazy as it first seemed.
Fancy a go at that, Graham?
Did you bring your swimmers? I brought mine.
Fancy a quick dip?
In this modern world of Wim Hof wannabes, I'd like to be one of them, but I think I'd get like an ankle in and that would be me. But massive respect to anyone who can do this.
What have you been doing, Graham?
I was trying to take a photo here of the Opera House, but not of this man in the nip. That was not intentional. It's only slightly more expensive than London prices, which unfortunately I'm pretty used to.
Just what you need after a nice ice dip.
Not that you would know. Crazy people. We'll just stay
You've been
here.
talking about it all evening.
I know.
I think you secretly want to do it.
I do want to do it, but I also want to drink this beer. Jesus. Nut jobs.
Rather be right here.
The next morning, the tracks had been cleared and we jumped on the first train north.
It's been a while since I've seen anywhere as beautiful as this. I think we've still got about 3 hours to go.
At least.
Yeah, there's going to be plenty to see, but we've got a perfect day for it.
The weather was perfect, but this only made me anxious. I needed bad weather. The worse it was, the better it would look on camera. As we headed further north, however, I began to relax as the blue skies turned grey and soon the snow started to fall.
Wow. Visibility is just gone.
How do you feel about what you're seeing there, Alex?
I'm encouraged. This is what I thought. I was worried that the weather would be too nice.
It's snowing. Look at that. Jesus. This is getting nasty. All I see is white.
All of our snow gear, including our goggles, was still packed away in the bags and cases, and we were not prepared for what awaited us in Finse.
Holy shit.
We were almost blinded without our goggles, and we could hardly even see the station itself. What the camera is seeing is far more than we could with our own eyes. On the platform, we met one of my local guides and took shelter in the station waiting room.
Hello? This is my friend Graham.
Hi,
Hi.
how you doing? You alright?
Good.
Yeah, good. Just the water on your face there.
This is the only guy crazy enough to come with me this week.
I'm not even sure I'm not crazy, but I'm
You're
here.
regretting it already.
On a previous expedition, I had depoted some props with Eirik, including replica Antarctic sledges that we would be using. We began loading the sledge, but Eirik had to catch the next train, and we had a few tasks to do around town before he left. First, we headed to the hotel to collect a key. We were not staying here, but the hotel proudly displays photos of some of its previous guests.
Oh. Skywalker?
This is where they filmed Hoth in The Empire Strikes Back. These are the various people that have come over the town. Nansen, Amundsen, famous Norwegian explorers. He was the first guy at the South Pole.
Harrison Ford, another famous explorer.
Shackleton, of course.
Harrison Ford. Oh, he did he? Tombs,
explorer.
galaxies.
Yeah.
Still pretty important.
Can't lose that key.
What is this key?
Framheim. Replica Antarctic hut.
Next, we headed to Eirik's warehouse across the tracks to retrieve some more props and equipment out of storage. But something seemed to be missing.
Trying to find where my gloves are. I have a bad feeling I've left them at home.
How long have you been up here today and a few days before, or
Yeah.
what's the weather been like?
So yesterday was warm, wet,
Yeah?
not so windy. So today is the most windy day.
Okay.
But the avalanche risk was higher yesterday because it was wet snow.
Right.
Yeah. So now it's colder. So now it's went down from extremely high to high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why the train was cancelled yesterday.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, my gloves are back in England.
Okay. That's good. At least you have control where they are.
Yeah, I've got my list. It tells me where every item is, and
Yeah.
I thought it was here with the rest of it, but that's annoying.
Are you plan to use them because there
Yeah.
was?
I got these. I do have some other ones as well I brought.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back at the station, we finished packing the sledge.
Only fools would get off here.
In addition to some snowshoes, Eirik had lent us an old rope. There was just one problem.
So what's the main difficulty here?
The rope's too long. It's taking forever to feed it.
After wrestling with the world's longest rope for about an hour, the sledge was finally packed and we set off in search of our cabin. In order for me to understand what the Antarctic pioneers and explorers experienced, it was important to me to try things the way they did them. Everything I've made for this film not only needs to be screen accurate, but working replicas too. Fully laden, the sledge weighed around 130 kilos. On ice, it is possible to pull solo, but it sank in the deep snow, and it soon became necessary to abandon it and drag what we could by hand. Barely visible in the storm, getting to the safety of the cabin was now imperative.
The wooden sledge? I don't know about getting it. Like, do you want to get the wooden sledge?
We made it to the cabin and were greeted by the cabin keeper. Armed with head torches and a GPS, in a lull in the storm, we headed back out to retrieve the sledge and the remaining equipment.
What do you want to do?
I think we should try and pull it.
Yeah, I just need to be secured again.
Worst case, we carry him again. Let's get it onto the snow. Made it to the cabin.
The fleece is supposed to be black.
I think my hat's frozen to my head.
Oh, the buckle's got a lot of ice around it.
Oh, there we go. Just drying off stuff. These are my trousers. They literally have ice in the pockets.
I think I was quite naive to it, thinking like, you know, we just have an easy time. Well, it would be hard enough time just moving the cases. I didn't think the weather would be so bad with us. I guess like it was just relentless. It's like if you're in the boxing ring, you're supposed to touch gloves and then you start the fight. But no, like the weather just started the fight the second we got off the train. Context to the weather, doesn't it, when you see somebody else struggling in it?
I can't see the sledge out there anymore.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pick that, pull that out.
That was meant to be there.
Is that? Did you see you were half considering not going back for the bellies?
The main reason I was like okay with leaving them is like, well, we're not going to need them tonight.
I know.
But then I was like, actually all my ski coat is in there. Let's see if the camera kit survived. The lens actually.
Most importantly, is that dry?
That's what's going to keep us alive for the next week.
I think we should definitely have at least a little drink of that.
A little drink?
In the very
a few
near
littles.
in the very near future. Alex, we've just got in like 10 minutes ago. Why are you getting dressed again?
To look for my sledge.
Yeah.
It was meant to be just outside this window. I just need somewhere better to put it. I don't mind it getting snowed in, because then I know it's not going anywhere, but it was on ice.
Right.
You can watch me out the window.
Laughing point.
I realised just how bad the wind on the microphone sounds, so here's some upbeat mission music instead.
I was starting to get worried.
The sledge was on the other side of the building.
Fuck off.
It would like, yeah, seriously.
Really?
It cleared the building. I've tied it up to the railings.
Alright.
These gloves are like solid. This is what they wore 100 years ago. I've got little finger flaps just here, but it's frozen shut.
Getting into this vital part
Frostbitten fingers.
of the tea process.
I need a real man. Any scissors?
Yeah, I think it's the scissors job. How many men does it take to make a cup of tea?
That evening, we had learned from the cabin keeper that all of the trains had been cancelled once again. Nobody was getting in or out of Finse.
Never been so afraid to see a cracker. It went from pleasant to awful. Oh yeah. Real quick. Like, we weren't really close, right, for that first bit.
No, we just jumped off the train, didn't we?
Not having the ski goggles on was horrendous. That was a real, like, kick in the nuts.
The weather's going to be like this every day. We're not going to be able to go far. And there's no point. Like, the whole point of going into the hills is to get the landscapes, to get the vistas.
Yeah.
I think if we wanted to go and get those sorts of shots, we're going to have to wait for a slightly calmer day. It doesn't matter how cold it gets, because the temperature's going to drop this week. I think this weekend is the worst for wind. We'll get dinner here.
I haven't really seen what is the options here.
There's the shelf.
Oh, yeah. You think they got any buckfast in there? Should have brought one, shouldn't I? You know what? I should have brought one.
After dinner, we made some friends with some of the other guests.
Cheers.
In an emergency situation, you feel cold because all your blood goes to your organs.
Right.
But when you have like spirits, it goes back. All the blood goes back into your fingers and your toes, so you feel warm. But I don't know if I'm in an emergency situation where I might die. Yeah, I'm having the whiskey. Like, whether it's good for me or not, like, psychologically, it's definitely good for you.
Yeah, if you know you're going to die anyways, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't have any eggs or milk. Dried pancake next for me. See what else there is.
Yeah.
Might be bolognese for breakfast.
That wouldn't be a bad thing. Is it porridge?
Yeah.
It's porridge.
It's sometimes, yes. No, that's
Chocolate pudding.
Yeah. No, I think it's porridge in the
Oh, is there?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. I'm quite taken with the idea of chocolate pudding now.
So would I.
That is appetizing.
I'm glad I got involved. It's its delivery that's not very appealing.
Fueled on a suspicious breakfast, I went out to check on the weather conditions and assess the visibility. As the weather was forecast to be similar to yesterday, I would be limited with what I could film, and so we decided to use the bad weather as a photo opportunity. Some of the camera equipment had kindly been loaned to me, and in return I was to provide the brands with some photos of their kit in action. By ticking off our obligations now, we could spend the rest of the week free to pursue our own shot list.
There he is. All good?
Yeah. It's doable without snowshoes, but I think it'd be advantageous. Should we go further up to those rocks? Alright, is it clearing slightly again?
It's a bit of a blur with the ice on some of those.
That's alright. It adds to it.
It's a bit of a reality of the shooting conditions.
Yeah, exactly.
Nicely dusted in ice and sugar.
Should we go and have a look what the other camera looks like? It's iced over.
What's iced over?
The snap plate.
Oh, brilliant.
The snap plate catch is iced shut. You might be wondering why we've got a white camera handle. It's because I taped it up so that I didn't have to be touching bare metal. What a difference that makes. Trying to undo that snap plate just then. I mean, it's frozen shut, but all this metal, it's sticky. Come on, look at this. Watch my fingertips. I put my fingers here when I press record. I do that. I think I'm going to have to tape this up as well.
This is the coldest room in the house.
Yeah, I don't want to bring it in. If we do that, the whole thing will steam up, and it'll just get really wet. Yeah, it's iced up, but it's solid, you know? Well, have you seen the exhausts on this?
Shit, man. How do you feel about that?
Well, that's why I don't want to bring it in, because that'll turn to water.
It's going to turn water at some point.
Not if it stays ice.
What about when you get back to Manchester?
That's a problem for another day.
In your acclimatising kennel. You stay in there until you think about what you've done.
We'll review the footage and then see what we're going to do this afternoon. Maybe go take a trip to Framheim.
That's crazy.
But there was to be no going out again.
I think that's like the loudest. That's been like the hardest gust so far, really.
Feel the building shake. Can you see anything out there?
Yeah, this is why we didn't go to that place. What do you call the place?
Framheim.
Framheim? Yeah, we would be coming back about now, surely, if we didn't go.
It would have been a GPS job to get there.
Yeah.
Tack.
Crazy. Yeah. What's the plan here this morning?
Bacon.
No, I mean with the camera kit.
Just chuck it into big telly.
What's Alex cooking today?
We were gifted this from one of the other guests. We found a pack of mystery bacon on the windowsill in their room. We don't know how long it's been there, whose it was.
Looks good to me.
So if we take the sledge, march straight out to the end of the lake,
Okay.
see how far we can get.
Okay.
Should be flat, but it will be flat. It's a lake.
Mm.
It'll be a good test for packing the kit on the sledges and actually taking it out on an excursion. Morning.
The next day was clear and calm, and in exchange for the bacon, our benefactors Maeve and Holly wanted to see the glaciers.
Still cold, isn't it?
That's lovely. And look at that.
With visibility the best it had been since we arrived, I volunteered as a tour guide.
Which one's that?
That one's Bloisen. Middelin is just here in that cloud behind that hill. And then Bukashins is further around on the right. Look at this snowdrift. If I get down there, am I going to get back up? I mean, it's as tall as the building. This is going to be tricky.
Whilst I was being inundated with offers of assistance, Graham had assumed the role of tour photographer.
Nice. Right. Ready? Alright, I've done two. Looks good.
You can pull me up like this. Yeehaw!
That went well.
Easy.
No problem.
Did it? Smashed it. Well, we're gonna go in for some pics.
Yeah, we're gonna go grab our cameras and we'll be off.
Cool.
So, just to the end of the lake, as far as we can go. Whilst we were out sightseeing, my sledge had started to get the attention of the cabin keeper and a polar expedition guide.
Okay, and this is Scott's and South Pole.
Yeah, these are the sledges they used. It's all exactly the same wood, all the same materials.
It's skin?
Yep.
Kind of skin?
Yeah.
Is it,
I think it's ash, if I remember. Yeah. It's all made the same manufacturing methods. You have to steam the wood to get these curves. There's no nails and no screws in this at all. This is one of the props for the film. I've got two.
how heavy have you?
I haven't weighed it actually.
15? 10, 15?
Just over 15 kilos.
Oh.
15.3.
Well made though. Did you
Yeah.
make it yourself?
No, I got a carpenter to do it.
Yeah.
He usually makes furniture,
Yeah.
but he's really excited about this.
Yeah.
I took him down to Spry in Cambridge,
Yeah.
and we measured all of the real ones and took photos of all the real ones.
Yeah. So it's not the last expedition you're filming?
Yeah, it's part of the last expedition.
Yeah.
3 of his men went to collect emperor penguin
Yeah.
eggs
Yeah.
in the middle of winter. So that's the story I'm doing. Have you heard of the worst journey in the world?
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the story I'm doing. All right. Take care. Yeah, it blown over here. The sledge was like over here the other day.
Like it could have been miles.
Yeah, I'm glad I went out when I did.
Yeah.
It would have just been gone down the valley.
Yeah.
Fits remarkably well on this, doesn't it? With the sledge packed, we set off across the lake on our first proper filming excursion.
So where did they film Star Wars around here?
Yeah, it was one of the valleys up behind that hill there. That's where the Battle of Hoth was. But you know the bit where Han Solo cuts open that animal for Luke to keep warm. What does he say?
I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
That was just outside the hotel, just down over there. So all people from the hotel watching them film. You're just gliding on this snow. I was sinking like 3 inches. You know what that actually is. You like Legolas?
Like on top of the snow, on top of the ice, on top of the water. I'm quite happy. Do you feel like you're getting that Antarctic experience now?
Yeah. Cherry, the guy I'm making a film about, he famously said that manholing is the fastest way to have a bad time. And I'm only carrying a fraction of what they were. And they were doing it on glaciers.
Alright, you ready to go?
Yeah, should we get going again? Once I'm moving, it's not too bad, but setting off, that's the hardest bit.
Come on. Early impressions of the sledge setup.
Pretty good. I mean, it's heavier than modern pulps.
You feel that's important to experience?
I think it's important to understand the hardships and the difficulties that they faced, to appreciate the effort that they went to.
Do you think you're going to keep this sledge as your mode of transportation for the week?
I don't know, I'll see how my legs are in the morning. About halfway, we stopped for a quick snack and to pop off a few shots. Alright, the sea, its tea, remained warm.
Oh, that's still hot. That's probably the best tea I've ever had. That's solid. It's all iced over. Oh.
Pressed on, but some friendly faces soon made a surprise appearance.
I told you it was the girls.
I was like, nah, it's not the girls.
I was like, I'm sure that's Maeve's coat. She had a pretty wild coat there. Pretty bright. You want to give it a go?
Sure as hell. I was made for this.
Here you go, that goes around your waist.
The outtakes, the bloopers. I have a girlfriend and I think she's gonna think I'm so fucking butch. And cool. Like Scott of the Antarctic reimagined.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Dig in.
Yeah!
Yeah, now just keep that going for another kilometer or so.
People from the southwest looking after each other.
Big up Brizzle! You can call it a day when you want and I'll edit it to look like you did the whole thing for me.
Well, you got like proper ice crystals off your beard, that's really good.
Little icicles, yeah. You're jealous, aren't you?
Kind of, yeah.
How's that?
Lovely.
Lovely.
You sort of get into the rhythm of reindeer life.
Thank you very much for your help. Much appreciated.
Alright, I'm in now.
Alright, Graham's turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's it like pulling the sledge, Graham?
Trying to get into it a little though. Kind of just once you get started, you're just going to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel the legs.
Bye bye!
It was finally time for the girls to depart and return to catch their train.
Nearly at the end of the lake. Yeah, if we get to these rocks, grab some lunch and get some shots. Some lunch for you, eh? I've got something for us before we head back.
Oh, right. Marzipan?
Yeah.
Brake here to Oh, braking emergency.
Oh yeah. It's really hard to drink with ice in your beard. It's like a little armor plating. Just pour it all over my face and melt it.
Man, your face freezes.
See, that's the shot that I really wanted. I don't know if I got. It's the layers of hills. The human eye can perceive that so much better than any camera can. On the cameras, that's so low contrast. There were times when I couldn't see what I was pointing at. Everything was just white. I think all of our outward tracks are already gone.
Mission accomplished, we turned back for home. But I couldn't resist grabbing one last shot.
How was that? First day?
It's an experience. Manholing. It's something I needed to try, just to appreciate what they all did out there. We accomplished what we set out to achieve, and I think it's time to dry out and have a big fat hoosh. How did we do today? Just a bit of powder. Tea-can.
I haven't drank enough tea today.
Man, was still hot. Is yours?
It's warm.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Since it was about 7 hours ago we brewed them.
Yeah. You're looking pretty pink.
It's coming into this warm environment. I feel like you know, Macaulay Culkin and Home Alone.
What are we at?
You are at 34 degrees.
Am I? Is that good or bad? I don't even know.
Am I alive or dead?
Yeah.
The room's probably it's about 0 degrees in here.
Alright, what about the kit?
That's the coldest thing. It's -7.
Alright.
Well, that is one chilly tripod. It's in about -5. We're just leaving it in here to gently acclimatise. It's between 0 and 2 degrees in here. What have we got? Sword. Are you telling me we're eating soot?
Yeah.
Soot balls.
Instant potatoes. It's not the best potato.
I'm really pessimistic about this meal. The potatoes in particular.
No, it's just, well, you know, I'm from Ireland, so we have potato standards. There's a bit too much liquid for the potato, I think. I would be swimming in saw juice. Whatever that is.
Let's try these little soot balls. Yeah, that's decent.
It's edible. It's a bit weird now, it's just us here. We went from, like, what, about 18?
Do you want top floor or the bottom floor?
Yeah. We could, like, turn the top floor quarter into, like, a bowling alley or something.
So we need to think about if we want to rearrange the sledge for tomorrow.
I think anytime you want to go up any sort of slope, I don't think that setup's going to work.
Not as it is now. It might be possible to ditch the pelly entirely. That'll save quite a bit of weight. Including the sledge today, it's 50 or 60.
You could drop a lot of that weight.
I really want to go up some slope, up into the hills.
Yeah. I don't think we're prepared to go first thing tomorrow to do that, because I think we need to, like, do you not think we should try and use the plastic sledges?
Maybe.
Drop the weight as much as possible. I mean, that's a lot of going uphill. Have you been up in the snow before?
Yeah.
I mean, you're
only with, you know, a backpack.
Yeah, it's a totally different story. The sledge would be cool to take up there, but it's just smashing and swinging about like mad. Do your tits in.
It won't be swinging about going up.
Yeah, it's going down, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Just sit on it.
Yeah, you sit on it, I'll video it.
Still undecided what to do, we headed to the one place that could surely help us think straight.
Where are we going, Graham?
We are going to the pub.
We need to clear our heads, decide what we're doing tomorrow.
Cheers. Skull. Skull.
As we pondered our plans, we reflected on the town's legacy as an iconic film location.
Alright. That's brilliant.
The Wampa, that's the ice creature that Luke posts, isn't it?
Oh,
this is
brilliant, yeah.
Look. They're just outside the hotel. Oh, here it is, look. And these are screen grabs. And look, that's Middelin.
Right.
Cute.
Yeah, those are great photos. Yeah, I still want to see the film again.